guys, welcome back. Today I am doing something completely different on my channel. I'm going to be trying out the HelloFresh meal subscription service. A lot of you guys have been asking for more cooking videos, and that's something I want to start doing more on my channel. And I've been hearing about HelloFresh for a little while, and they recently finally just started shipping to all of Canada instead of just Ontario. So I was like, I need to try this out. I need to see what the hype is about because I love the idea of it. So this week James and I are going to be trying out the Veggie box because I am a vegetarian, so I thought why not film it and show you guys, see what it's all about, see if it's worth it. First of all, I just want to get this right out of the way. This is not sponsored. They did not send me this box. We bought it with our own money. HelloFresh has no idea who I am. I do have a link that will be in the description bar down below. If you want to sign up, it'll get you $50 off your first box, which is such a great deal. Once again, not a YouTube thing. Anyone who makes an account will have one of these links to share with their friends, and I do get a $25 credit if you use my link. So thank you to anyone who uses it. So a little bit about how it works before we jump into it. So basically they have 3 weekly meal plans that you can choose from. There's the Veggie box, which like I said, I'm going to be trying, the Pronto box, and then the Family box. They each have different options of like how many meals you want per week, how many people you're feeding, and everything like that. Not gonna go over all the prices and all the detailing because that's just going to take forever and be really tedious. So I'll just link it down below if you want more info about all the different plans. But basically every week they send you a box with your recipes and all the ingredients you need to make them, and they're all perfectly portioned out for the exact amount of food you need. And they're all meant to be like healthy, nutritionally balanced meals that you can make in half an hour or less. So obviously this is really great if you're like a family and you're really busy. For James and I, this was the perfect timing to try it because in 4 days we are going on vacation. So this past weekend we didn't go on our usual big grocery trip because we're trying to use up all the produce and everything that we already have. So it's extremely helpful to have all of our dinners planned out. We don't have to stress out about what we're going to eat when we're already stressing about like packing and everything like that. And like I said, they give you the exact quantities you need for the meals, so we don't have to worry about any like produce going to waste or anything like that. So it is literally perfection. But let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna unbox the actual box and everything here on camera so you can see exactly how everything comes packaged. And then I'm gonna take you guys through the week with me as we make all of these meals, and we're gonna taste test them and everything and see if they're good. James is gonna try them too, and he's not vegetarian, so it should be interesting. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the box everything comes in. It is quite large. Okay, so I'm gonna unbox this here with you guys. So it's got this little flap in here. Then as you can see, it's like an insulated box to keep everything fresh and cold. So then right on the top here, there is your little recipe booklet. So that shows you your meals for the week, and you can do that, of course, online before you actually order. So yeah, this little booklet has all the ingredients, the recipes, basically everything you need to know. So then each meal is in one of these boxes. One thing I will say that I think is a con is I feel like this is a little bit wasteful in terms of packaging. Obviously, pretty much whenever you buy food, there's gonna be packaging, but I feel like especially with the individual portions, it just might be a little bit wasteful. So this is what the box looks like. I'm gonna go in order that they have the meals listed. So tonight we're going to be having Kung Pao mushrooms. This one may be a little bit tricky because James does absolutely hate mushrooms. So I might make his with chicken. So it's basically kind of like a little shoe box, and then literally just everything is in here. It's really funny. This is kind of odd. I've never opened a package with like fresh produce in it, but that's what everything looks like. Green onions are looking a little bit sad, but everything else in here seems to be okay. One thing too, the few things that they do recommend you have are like olive oil and salt and pepper, and I think that's about it. Those are the only things they don't supply you with. So I'm going to do all of the cooking parts of vlog style because I feel like that'll just be easier. For our Kung Pao mushrooms, this is all the ingredients you get. You get broccoli, cremini mushrooms, jasmine rice, green onions, ginger, chili cashews, sherry vinegar, chili garlic sauce, which is like sriracha, soy sauce, and then sesame oil. And James confirmed that he wouldn't be eating the mushrooms, so we're gonna make him some with chicken, which is fine. That's just what happens when one of you is a vegetarian and the other isn't. So they really seem to have it all covered in here for you. They've got like all the ingredients, they have all the nutritional info, they've got like possible allergens, the tools you'll need, and then the recipe seems pretty easy to follow. I just noticed there's a funny typo here. It has like the ingredients for 2 people, and then instead of saying 4 people, it says 24 people. So the first step is to bring 1 1/3 cup of salted water to a boil. So I'm just going to turn that on. That's going to be for the rice. The next steps are to grate the ginger. It actually says to mince it, but I'm just going to grate it because it's faster. And then also to roughly chop up the mushrooms. So I'm going to do those 2 steps. So that's all done. And while I was chopping all that up, our water boiled. So I'm just going to go add the rice. And that says, as I spill it on the stovetop, and that says to cook for 12 to 14 minutes. Okay, so since I'm doing 1 veggie and 1 not, this is going to seem a little bit more complicated than it actually is. I'm just gonna have 2 frying pans going and do 1 with the chicken and 1 with the mushrooms and kind of split up the other ingredients between the 2. So I did half the sesame oil and half the ginger in each pan, and I'm just heating them up. Now I'm going to add the mushrooms to mine and the chicken to James's. I'm just going to do about half the mushrooms and I'll save the other mushrooms for something tomorrow. And then you're just supposed to add half of the green onions. I'm going to focus mostly on showing you guys how to cook mine, since mine is actually like accurate to the recipe, and it just says to cook for 7 to 8 minutes. So now that my mushrooms are starting to get nice and golden, I'm just going to add half of my broccoli. So now that the broccoli's been cooking for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to add the chili garlic sauce and the soy sauce. I just about forgot to add the sherry vinegar. So now that that's done cooking, I just put the jasmine rice on the plates and put the stir-fry mixture on top. And now the last step is to garnish with the leftover green onions and then also the chili cashews. There wasn't a ton of green onion left because, like I said, they were kind of sad and wilted. So that is what the finished meal looks like. Definitely looks really good, but now it is time for the taste test. Okay, so I've got James with me now and we're going to test this and see if it's good.
Seriously, looks so delicious.
Gotta get a bite of everything. It's good.
I like are these cashews?
Yeah. Do you like them? I thought they might be a little bit too spicy for you.
No, I like spicy stuff. They're good.
Yeah, it's good. It's got a lot of flavor. I would, like, if I saw this on Pinterest or anything, it's something I would totally make. I make a lot of, like, Asian food and things like that. What would you rate it out of 10?
A solid 7 or 8.
Yeah, same. It's not, like, my favorite meal ever, but it is really good. And it was really easy to make. I think even James could make it. Hard to say.
I don't know about that.
You know how to boil water? I'm not sure. This meal, so far, getting a thumbs up from us. So it is day 2 in our HelloFresh test. It is 7 o'clock and we are ready to make dinner. And tonight is kind of a weird one. Tonight's meal is plantain and black bean tostadas, which I have to admit sound a little bit weird. They look really good and I feel like they will be delicious. I've just never had plantain before, and I know James thinks this recipe is kind of weird too, but hopefully it is delicious. This one does seem slightly more advanced. The recipe is a little bit more complicated and you do have to pickle some things and stuff like that, so it's gonna be a little bit more, I would say, intermediate. So let's get our box of produce out and see what we have for today's recipe. Okay, so first of all, we have a plantain and an avocado. I did take these out of the fridge. It also does say on the recipe that plantains are ripe when they are black, so I'm not sure if this is perfectly ripe. I'm assuming not, but we're just gonna roll with it. So we also have red onion, a lime, black beans, some cilantro, some little tortillas. We've got feta cheese and radish, honey, chipotle powder, Cuban spice blend, white wine vinegar, and more white wine vinegar. So got a really good assortment. So the first step is to preheat the oven to toast the tortillas and then prep all of the produce. So I'm going to do both of those steps quickly. So I cut up the plantain, definitely thinking it's not fully ripe. The avocado, on the other hand, was definitely very mushy. And keep in mind, I did just get this box yesterday, but I feel like shipping produce, especially like avocados, which if you've ever had an avocado, you know they're kind of tricky, is a little bit difficult. So I'm not like blaming them. It's not too bad. It's just getting a little bit extra mushy. Then I also got the lime and the cilantro all cut up. So the next step is to start pickling the veggies. So what it says to do, it says to add 1/4 cup of water to a pan. You're also supposed to add the onions to that, and then also the radishes as well. And then you're supposed to do both of the white wine vinegar as well as 4 tablespoons of sugar. Then you're supposed to cook this mixture on medium-low heat for 3 to 4 minutes until the onion softens. So we're gonna let that do its thing. So I'm heating up a little bit of olive oil, and yes, I do have rice on the stove from yesterday's meal. James was on dish duty yesterday, so he should have cleaned it. But then it says to add the black beans to the heated olive oil. It says include the liquid, which I find kind of interesting. I've never not drained beans before, but we're gonna shake all those out. You do have to mash them after, so I guess that's why you keep the liquid in. And then I'm also adding the Cuban spice blend, and it says as much chipotle powder as you would like. I do like chipotle, but I don't want this to be like super spicy, so I'm just gonna do a little bit. So we're just gonna mix that in, and then you're supposed to cook this for 5 to 6 minutes or until the beans are soft. Also, a while ago I didn't mention, but I took the onions and the radishes off the heat. It just had to set them aside. Now that this has been cooking for a little while, I am going to mash the black beans. I do not have a potato masher right now, so I'm just going to use a fork. So after mashing up the beans, you're supposed to just spread it over the 6 tortillas. It also says to sprinkle the feta on at this point, but I want to save the feta and just like use it as a topping. So now I'm going to pop these in the oven. It's supposed to bake them for 7 to 8 minutes or until the tortillas are crisp on the bottom. So now I'm cooking the plantain for 2 to 3 minutes. The recipe just said to use the same frying pan, so I just like wiped up the bottom quickly, but there's still some beans around there, but it just says to cook them until they're golden and like flip them over and cook each side. So once the plantain is cooked, you're supposed to take the honey and just drizzle this over it, and then also season it with salt and pepper as well. You're supposed to do that with the beans too, but I totally forgot. So then the last step is to just assemble everything with the toppings you want. James doesn't like avocado, so I'm gonna leave that off of his, but that just means more for me. So this is what the finished meal looks like. I gotta say, it looks pretty good. I wish there was more plantain, because there was only enough to put 3 on each, and then our third ones that are left over, there's only like 2 pieces of plantain for each. So wish there was a little bit more of that, but then you also just add the little lime wedge. Okay, so we are ready to do the taste test. I actually Googled how you're supposed to eat a tostada because I wasn't sure. And I guess you're just supposed to like pick it up and take a bite out of it. You have to add the lime first though.
Well,
do you like it? I'm waiting for you to say something. Here, move over. Come closer.
It's very different.
You don't like it?
No, like there's nothing that I don't like about it. It's a weird combination though, I think. Like, I don't know.
I think it's good.
You got something on your nose.
On my nose? I have fat on my nose. I don't know, I think this is good. It doesn't have as much flavor as I was expecting, weirdly. I knew that you were gonna think it's a little bit weird, but I personally like it. It's just not like quite what I was expecting. Your hair is like crazy.
I know.
James just woke up from a nap. What would you rate this out of 10?
6.
A 6?
Yep.
So less than yesterday's.
Yeah, yesterday was good though.
I'm gonna say like an 8. So this one we have mixed feelings on. I like it though, and I like that it's something completely different. Like this is never something I would ever think to make, so I like that it's just completely new. But I think that's going to be it for today's taste test. It is time for our third and final HelloFresh meal. It is like 10 o'clock at night because today was our night to do all of our like errands before we leave for the trip. So our final meal is zucchini and lemon fettuccine, which sounds perfect because I'm starving. I really haven't eaten like anything today. So a nice big bowl of pasta sounds really good. So the first step is to prep the produce. I'm going to mince the garlic in my garlic press really quick. And then it says to cut the zucchini lengthways and then cut it into thin strips. So it's supposed to look like the noodles. I do have a spiralizer, but I'm not gonna get the whole thing dirty for 2 zucchinis. So I'm just gonna cut it the way they suggest. And you're also supposed to bring a medium pot of salted water to a boil while you do this. So I've just got that started. Now I've got the zucchini cut into strips. I minced my garlic and then I cut off a little bit of chili. So over here, I'm heating up a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Once that's hot, I'm going to add the garlic and then the chili. It said for the chili, you can use as much as you want, and I really don't want this to be spicy, so I just did a tiny little bit. Just realized I wasn't actually filming as I was doing that, but now that the garlic and the pepper is nice and fragrant, I added the zucchini, and I'm going to cook that for a couple minutes. And the water is boiling now, so we're also going to add our pasta and cook that for 2 to 3 minutes. I have to say, this pasta smells really good. I drained the pasta, so now I'm going to add it to the zucchini, and I'm also going to add the peas and then the basil pesto, and then I'm just going to mix that all together and just stir it until it's thoroughly warmed. So you're supposed to dish it and then sprinkle the Parmesan cheese on top. And that is what today's finished dinner looks like. Okay, so before we get started with the taste test for the fettuccine, James has something he wants to say.
Oh, I would like to change my rating for yesterday's meal. It grew on me, and I think I rated it a 6, and I'll change that to a 7.5. It was like
Solid.
It was a really fancy taco.
Solid 1.5 increase.
Yeah, no, it grew on me. It was pretty good. I'm sorry.
You spill every time.
When else did I?
You dropped a piece of onion yesterday, the pickled onion. Are you ready? Oh my god. You're a monster.
Here we go.
The noodles have kind of a weird taste.
I don't mind them.
I feel like the noodles almost taste kind of like tea because they're like lemony, like lemon tea. Also, if you guys want to know what I'm wearing on my lips, it is one of the Too Faced Melted Matte Lipsticks. Let's watch video coming soon. So what would you rate this dish?
7 right now.
I'd give it like a 6.
Why?
Because it's just okay. It's not like the best, like it's good. I like pasta. You can't really go wrong with pasta, but...
Yeah, it's a pasta. Yeah, that's true.
What was your favorite meal this week from HelloFresh?
It went from my least favorite to my favorite. I think it was the plantain taco.
That one was your favorite?
Tostada.
Tostada, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite too, I think. That one was really good.
It
They've
was...
all been like good though. What do you think? What are your final thoughts on HelloFresh?
Great quality. Like all the food was good. Everything came ripe, didn't it?
Yeah, for the most part.
I don't know how the value was. Sari would know more.
That's hard to say. This box is, I think, $72 per week. We did use like one of the coupons though, so we paid like 20 bucks for it. So I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know if it's fully worth $72. Like, I don't know if the ingredients would total up that much.
You can hook them up with a discount though, can't you?
Yes, I do have a link for a discount. It'll be in the description bar down below. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video too, but in case you forgot, you can get $50 off your first box, and then I also get $25 to redeem on a future box. So thank you to anyone who uses it. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Would you try it again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would totally do this again too, especially if we have like a week where we have like a lot going on, like this week. Or if you're just busy, like stressed out, anything like that.
Well, would you say they were quick to prepare?
Yeah.
Really?
This one especially was like really fast to make. They're all like, the whole point is that they're meals you can make in half an hour or less.
Okay.
You would know you didn't do any of the cooking.
You're so good.
Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed seeing us test out HelloFresh. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you do, and let me know if you want to see more of these videos in the future. Don't forget to check out the description bar as well for my link to get $50 off your first box.
Go follow at Sarah Rihanna on Twitter, Instagram,
And
Snapchat.
yeah. And hit that subscribe button down below if you are new here, but we will talk to you guys, or I will talk to you guys in the next one. Let us know if you want to see James in more videos too. Bye guys.